Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. Today is our third practice and video in 2024, and remember that we're working on self-love, self-reflections, mindful practices, and positive affirmation. So for today's practice, we are going to use a mixed media paper. We're going to use like a small size. You can do a bigger or even smaller size, or you can use any paper that you have available. We're going to use a pencil for drawing, and then two sizes of Sharpie, the extra fine and the regular one. If you do not have a Sharpies, but you have any black or even another color of markers, go for it. As I always say, I want mostly these practices for the month of January and February to be very, very easy for you, approachable, affordable, so you can easily find material and supplies and you can practice at your convenience at your house without really stressing yourself so much about materials and stuff. For these practices, the focus is on the process, as you know, more than on the product. And today, the affirmation that we are going to use is I can do hard things. And we all have to face hard challenges, no matter how young or how old are we. The challenge that life kind of brings us are hard for us, depending and according on our age, our skills, and many other factors. But we are capable of facing these challenges, own these challenges, and triumph, even when sometimes we fail in the process. So failure is something that is important. As I always say to my students, with failure, with mistakes, with accidents, we learn so much. We can learn so much more than doing the right things, just right at the beginning, because maybe it comes too easy and you don't pay so much attention and focus. But when something comes difficult and hard is when we really put all of our effort. And even if we fail at the end, even if the result, the product of this process is not exactly what we wanted, we learned and we can do better and we can do more the following time, and we are ready. We are mentally and emotionally ready to face any challenge. So we're going to repeat it and talk through this quote, like I can do hard thing, and we're going to do it through a beautiful complicated patterns, but you will see that we are able to do it because we are able to do hard things, hard tasks. So whenever you're ready, set yourself in a comfortable position. You should focus on the posture, the comfortable, a comfortable seat. We focus on breathing in and out from the nose very naturally, but also deeply, and focusing on it. If you want to listen to the music, I encourage you to use something that doesn't distract you, because all of your focus and your attention is going to be on your hands, on the paper, and in repeating that you can do hard things. I'm going to switch the camera so we can start. Okay, this is the paper. You can use it in any directions. However, I will use it in this direction, so horizontal. We are going to start this complicated pattern, and because we can do hard things and we can really do challenging things. So let's follow my lead. We're going to kind of trace abstract spots, like, I'm going to show you. Like these biomorphic, natural, organic shapes. We fill the space, leaving some white space between them. You can make them as big or as small as you want. You can have them bigger and smaller. You can change a little bit their shapes every time. You just have fun. Don't plan the shapes too much. Just fill the space in a way that you kind of distribute these biomorphic shapes all the way through your paper. And here we are. Now we're going to use the We can do the whole process with pencil and then go over with the Sharpie. So if you don't feel super confident to work with the Sharpie immediately, you can also do pencil first, and you can do the whole thing with pencil, and then in a second time you can retrace the pattern with the black markers or a black Sharpie. I'm gonna go over basically these shapes, and then I'm gonna keep going with markers without using the pencil anymore, just because I don't want the video to be too long. As you can see, sometimes you happen that when you outline, you kind of miss the lines that you traced before with the pencil, and in that case I invite you to kind of fix it, or remember that you can always erase. Once the Sharpie is set and dry, you can erase the lines that you did with the pencil for a better result. You can turn the paper. This is something that I have to do a lot because I'm left-handed, and every time that I go accidentally over something that I draw or paint, then is when I have a mess. So I learned. The affirmation that I chose today is a very dear affirmation to me. As a teacher, my job is not only teaching a strong and compelling curriculum and teaching, the national standards for art and design, different media and techniques, guide the students through project, but it is also, I think, like inspiring. Like part of my job, it is motivate the students, inspire them, make them feel comfortable of challenging themselves with new things, make mistakes, and start over. So art is also pretty difficult discipline, like a subject, because it requires so many fine motor skills, and then critical thinking skills, problem solving skills, open-mindedness, and knowledge. So it is not an easy subject, and it doesn't come easy. At the beginning, yes, it does, in a very spontaneous way with young artists and, the children, right? Because they embrace the experience so well. But then little by little, when we started to have to become more like a self-conscious, right, about our performances, about our skills, our talent, sometimes art, and I see in my middle school students or my high school students, can be very difficult and frustrating at times. So I always tell the students, and we always repeat this positive affirmation: I can do hard things. I just had to learn how to do them. I just had to learn the step. So when students sometimes, when they have to face a more complicated project, or when you have to face a more complicated project or a complicated task that you never had to face before, you have to repeat that you are intelligent and smart, and you're capable with your effort and hard work to do hard things, because you will learn the step by step. You will learn the skills that you have to use. You will give yourself the time and opportunity to embrace the challenge, the hard thing that you have to do it, and to perform it. And maybe the first time that you will perform it is not going to come exactly as you wished, but it's a first step, and you're able, and you prove yourself that you're able to do it. Now, we are going to fill the space between these biomorphic shapes. For my young artists, between these spots, we're going to fill them with kind of a curved lines that will go little by little into this design, and you will spontaneously change a little bit the direction according to what you think is the right directions to go. You can make them closer. You can make the lines closer to each other. You can make them farther apart. And as I say, if you feel that you need a little extra, like you need to take an extra step, you can do the whole thing with a pencil because you're always able to erase the pencil. And then you can go over in a second time with a fine Sharpie or any marker that you have available. You have fun in this. Remember that you are alive and present to this experience. You're focusing on your posture. You feel comfortable. We are breathing in and out from our nose. And we feel intelligent and capable and hardworking, and we can do hard things, new things that we never did before, things that we know that they are difficult and they can be complicated and intricate, but we can learn. We can learn the steps, and once we know the steps and we know the instructions, we practice them so we become fluent. And once was like hard, it becomes something simpler for us. And we go to another, even harder and more complicated things to do. So we always progress and improve ourselves and our performances in school and in life. What I like about art practices, mostly this type of art practices, is that they teach us life lessons. They not only teach us art skills, right? We are getting better in tracing our lines, in using our media, but they also give us that reflections, right? We can bring that, carry the knowledge that we are getting through art, the confidence we can carry it to our daily life, and their life lesson that we can apply in many different moments of our life, many different areas, right, of our life: school, family, work, our relationship with nature, with the environment, with the society, with the community. And we learn so many things through art. We learn empathy and compassion. And we need to be empathetic and we need to be compassionate, mostly when we do hard things, things that might look very hard at the beginning, but we are learning the steps to make them. If I had show you the pattern at the end, many of my viewers, mostly the young one, they would have skipped the video because they would have thought that, oh no, this is really too hard for me and for my skills. I don't think that I can do this. Or if you are teaching your children, I don't think that I can teach this to my kids. And this is why I didn't show you a complete example at the beginning, because I wanted to guide you and show you that through the right steps, you can do more complicated things. And you can create an optical illusion like we are doing it right now, an optical illusion of movement and depth just with lines and shapes, with a pencil and a marker. Guess that. The more you curve the lines, the more like an optical illusion of movement you will get. Here I have a more like a optical illusion, but you can start to see, right, this design moving around. And the first step is done, actually the second. So first, irregular spot biomorphic shapes, then filling out the space between them with these curved lines. And now we work on our final steps. Now, if you want to use the tools to have a more precise circles, you can do that. However, I encourage you to do freehands because they have to be small, and we work first in semicircle. Look what I do, so you can do the same. And you can make them bigger or smaller, and you can make them more. So you're going to spread the circles around your design according to what you think is the best option for you. Skip and then finish. I think I'm gonna make one here. To have a better circle, you see what I'm doing, right? So for example, I start with a semicircle, I pretend that I trace it, and then I trace it back. So I kind of lift up the markers when it's time for me to cross the lines that I don't want to go over with the black Sharpies, and then I, in this case, we don't have another part, and then I press the marker back. So one, I lift it up and I complete the shape. Lift it up and back down. This is more such an oval. Let me see, maybe I want to have one here, so small, lift it up, a little bigger, lift it up. And now we're going to start to color them. Nice. You can do this technique that we reviewed together in other videos and practices that we did a long time ago. A good technique of coloring with markers, or you can do very short strokes like this. So I'm going to present you both technique, and then you will use the one that you think is the most efficient for you, or the one that you like the most. The important thing is that we want a very saturated colors, so we don't want to leave any gaps. And we keep going. I personally like this better. I like the sounds. It gives me like, a nice pace and rhythm. So I also get very relaxed when I do it. I can do hard things. Repeat to yourself. I can do hard and complicated things. I can face hard challenges. I can learn the skills, and I can learn the steps that I have to take in order to accomplish my task. And what was hard once become natural and easy, and I can improve and move on to harder things and challenges. If your circles are not perfect or close to be a perfect circular shape, it doesn't really matter. Now you look at it, you see that you started to see like first the movement and then the depth, right? I think I'm gonna add a few more. Same technique, we press the markers down, we release, and then we press it back down. One more here to fill this shape because it's pretty big. Now, let me see if I have my bigger pencil because I don't want to use with a pencil, a drawing pencil, a soft one, or with the same pencil that you use to trace the lines. You're going to gently and softly color inside these shapes, the natural shapes, to add another level of, another layer, basically, and another level of depth. So you will have this gray that will be your very far away background. Then the black circles is your second layer, and then the first one that we created instead through shapes and curved line is going to be the top layer. So we created a pretty complicated pattern and an optical illusion of movement and depth just following basic steps and using basic lines. So as you can see, even something that looks very complicated or looks sophisticated or out of our reach can be done just by knowing the steps to take and working and practicing on the skills needed to do it. So repeat to yourself, I can do hard things. I can do challenging things. I can do things that I still don't know how, by learning them, by keeping an open mind and an open heart, and my will to work hard to get better and better. And once I learn the hard things and I face it, I am ready to face many other hard challenges and conquer them and improve and grow mentally and emotionally and professionally. And look, you can also have fun while learning hard things. This was a very fun and relaxing practice. So hard things can also give us really something good and positive. They can be fun, they can be interesting to learn and to execute, right? And to perform. If you liked this practice and now you know that you can do things that look hard, but in fact they are not, you can try it again. Maybe instead to use the black, you can use a red or a blue and see the differences, right? You can repeat the steps without watching the video. So maybe or maybe watching the video, speeding it up, and then do it on your own. So you can prove yourself that you learned the steps and the skills, and then you can do something that you considered hard at the beginning. If you want to have fun and add some values, so some darkness and lighter spot is going to really help this sense of depth and three-dimensionality that we want to have in this design. And, I suggest you to do so if you're more on an intermediate artist or like, advanced, so you know what value is, what dark and lighter, shade can do to your piece. But otherwise, I think that you can really feel a sense of accomplishment because once again we did something together that you thought was something complicated, and we did it just following few basic steps. So for example, if you want to go and do a little like a darker shade with a pencil around the circles, that is going to really help you to improve this three-dimensional optical illusion. And we're all done. I'm going to switch the camera to say goodbye, and I really enjoyed this complicated but yet easy practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me in this third video of 2024 and working on the affirmation, I can do hard things. This pattern of optical illusion might look like complicated and sophisticated, but we just did it together. And I proved you that you can learn the steps, so you can work on the skills, and you will be able to do it. And I hope that we keep this art lesson and we transfer it to our life as a life lesson. Sometimes we can feel overwhelmed or scared. I see it every day in my students and also in myself, and we think that we are not able to reach that goal. We are not able to perform that task, and so we lower the expectation on ourselves. Let's keep these expectations extremely high. We can learn our things. We are smart, talented, capable, and if we combine the skills, instructions, and hard work, we can perform hard tasks and we can do hard things, and we can make these things become easier and easier so we can move on to more challenging tasks and improve as human. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I see you all very soon. I wish you the best, and I'm sending a lot of love for all of you, and I thank you again for being part of this community. If you're still not part of this community, please consider to subscribe and help this channel grow and really be a safe, beautiful, positive space and a little community that we are spreading and we are sending out to the world. Ciao a tutti!